Good morning, welcome all of you. The topic of discussion for this glorious evening is on when Sri Aurobindo first met Sri Krishna. So this is the topic about Sri Krishna and Sri Aurobindo. Of course, couple of times as before we have discussed on the same topic on Sri Krishna and Sri Aurobindo. Here we are going little bit forward on when I first met Sri Krishna. When I first met Krishna, that has been described beautifully. That time, that situation, it is totally ignorant. Of course, we don't know, we don't have the idea. But actually, what is the Sri Aurobindo's confession? How he is gloriously describes the situation, the really the output. That's what we want to read here in from Sri Aurobindo's aphorisms. Initially, Sri Aurobindo quotes, "When I first met Krishna." Good. When I first met Krishna, I loved him as a friend and playmate till he deceived me. When I met Krishna, I loved him. Naturally, I had a in-depth love for him as a friend and playmate. I loved him as a friend and playmate till he deceived me. Just imagine, Sri Aurobindo course, Krishna had deceived him. So, still he deceived him. Then I was indignant and I could not forgive him because he deceived me. Initially, at the first glance, I loved him as a playmate and a lover. And finally, what I got, he deceived me. Then I was indignant and could not forgive him. That was the very first view, very first impression. Then afterwards, I loved him as a lover. Same thing, initially my love was as a friend and playmate. Then afterwards I loved him as a lover and he still deceived me again. Initially I loved him as a friend and playmate, he deceived me. Second, I loved him as a lover, he still deceived me. I was again and much more indignant. There itself only indignant. Second time when I loved him as a lover, he deceives, and with that I got much more indignant. But this time I had to pardon. Initially I could not forgive him. Here I was much more indignant, but I had to forgive him. That was the Sri Aurobindo's version, because Sri Aurobindo's quotes explain somebody that he was Sri Aurobindo was Sri Krishna in his previous birth. Sarma Sanstapanarthaya Sambhavami Juge Juge. So, when Krishna has told Sambhavami Juge Juge, and Sri Aurobindo quotes explains that he was Sri Krishna in his previous birth. So, then you can imagine who Sri Aurobindo really is, and moreover, for the supramentalization he is preparing, he will be the first supramental being. And you have seen Sri Aurobindo in his prison experience, Sarva Vasudeva Moya, in the court trial, he has explained Krishna was guiding me. He was my lover and my friend. Under the court's blanket, Sri Aurobindo feels it is the embrace of my lover and my friend. So again we have seen Sri Aurobindo quotes. He has come to the ashram. He is guiding the integral yogic methods. Of course, you know how Sri Aurobindo was guiding the ship which was carrying Sri Aurobindo from Chandannagar. Sri Krishna was guiding Sri Aurobindo's ship which was carrying Sri Aurobindo from Chandannagar to Pondicherry. So most of the important, you have seen a couple of events like Sri Aurobindo was, Sri Krishna was distributing message cards of the first anniversary, first event of the supramental manifestation, sitting on the lap of the mother. And Sri Aurobindo has quoted, "Mother is the mother of Krishna." And my mother has also, in her beautiful message, has described Krishna is also my child. All the so he's like a kid before her. So here also Sri Aurobindo goes once again and describe, when I saw others than Krishna, when I saw others than Krishna, and myself in the world, when I saw others than Krishna and myself in the world, I kept secret God's doings with me. When I saw others than Krishna and myself in the world, I kept secret God's doings with me. But since I began to see him and myself everywhere. To see him and myself everywhere, I have become shameless and garrulous. So, two conditions Sri Aurobindo quotes here. When I saw others than Krishna and myself in the world, I kept the secret, God's secret doing in him. And with Krishna, what happens? Since I began to see him and myself everywhere, see him and me everywhere, I have become shameless and garrulous. So again, we can go back for another aphorism, which already we have quoted in a couple of occasions. I did not know for some time. I did not know for some time whether I loved Krishna best or Kali. There was a big, great comparison between the goddess Kali and Krishna. When I loved Kali, gives clarification, it was loving myself. But when I loved Krishna, I loved another, and still it was myself with whom I was in love. Myself with whom I was in love. Therefore, I came to love Krishna better than Kali. So, naturally, Krishna is given a more emphasis so far love is concerned comparing Kali. So again we are going for another. All that my lover has belongs to me. Very critical, technical side we can feel. All that my lover has belongs to me. Why do you abuse me for showing up the ornaments he has given to me? Why do you abuse me for showing up the ornaments he has given to me? Because what he has, he is my lover, what he has is solely belongs to me, because everything belongs to me. Again, Sri Aurobindo quotes beautifully, my lover took his crown and a royal necklace from his head and neck and clothed me with them. Very interesting. Took everything from him and clothed me with those ornaments and clothes. So, head and neck. Necklace, ornament, crown, royal necklace. My lover took his crown, number one, then royal necklace from his head and neck and clothed me with them. But actually, what is the problem? But the disciple of the saints and the prophets, he abused me and said he is hunting up after a Siddhi. So, what does it mean? Because he is my lover, my friend. What he has, everything belongs to me. Second, he himself has taken his crown and a necklace from head and neck and clothed me with him. So what is that? Why the disciplines of the saints and the prophets abused me and said he is hunting after siddhis? So again the lover is coming to the picture. I did my lover's commands in the world. I did my lover's commands in the world and the will of my captor. I did my lover's commands in the world and the will of the captor. So who has taken me as captive? He is the captor. But they cried, who is the corrupter of youth, this disrupter of the mortals? So they cried, it is there. I did the lover's commands in the world and the will of my captor. What he willed and how he commanded, I have carried out, because I am charged by God to do his mighty works. It is done. But why they cried, who is this corrupter of youth and the disruptor of the morals? So it is totally indispensable, not indispensable, it is they have done. It is not actually expected. So we can if I cared even for your praise, O ye sons, if I cherished my reputation, O ye prophets, my lover would never actually have taken me into his bosom and given me the freedom of his secret chambers. Just imagine how the glorious description really, because sometimes it is likely I would like to quote few lines on Maya and Mayavadin. You know Maya. Maya means the skilled power finitizing the infinity. That is Maya. Savitri also, you know, I am Maya, the universe is my cheat. So most of the time people get terrified, confused with the term Maya. how this world is preoccupied with the game of Lila of Maya. So most of the time, really, they keep complaining. Of course, they get terrified. So it you have seen. So again, we'll go for that vision. The philosophers who reject the world as Maya. Most of the time, the world is Maya. So we should not actually come into the very catch of this Maya. The philosophers who reject the world as Maya are very wise and austere and holy. So they are very wise, austere, and holy. But I can't help thinking sometimes that they are also just a little stupid and allow God to cheat them too easily. You feel, you accept the philosophers, you accept till now this philosophy is actually rotating like anything, it is revolving like anything, revolving wheel moving in a very fast manner, but still in the course. But I can't help thinking sometimes that they are also just a little stupid and allow God to cheat them too easily, because they are philosophers, they are having sadhana, they know the marg route or path, so they are not easily cheated by the God. They are not so stupid. Again, I will try to quote it. The philosophers who reject the world as Maya are very wise and austere and holy. Still in the course, they are not stupid. They are not. They are holy, wise, and austere. But I can't help thinking sometimes that they are also just little stupid and allow God to cheat them easily, because they know they have got the glimpse, they have got the touch, they have the idea. It can't be bullified. So against your in the court. For my part, I think I have a right to insist to God giving Himself to me in the world. For my parts, here in the course upon this is aphorism number 431. For my part, I think I have the right to insist on God giving Himself to me in the world as well as out of it. This is my right. Here in the course, this is my right really. For my part, not for the entire world, human mass at large or some outsides, but for so far he is concerned. For my part, I think I have a right to insist on God giving Himself to me in the world as well as out of it. Why did He make it at all? Why did He make it what at all? And He wanted to escape that obligation. That's what is the question being put, the question being asked most of the time. Again, Sri Aurobindo explains upon Mayavadin. The Mayavadin talk of my personal God as a dream and prefers a dream of impersonal being. So the Mayavadi, what they do about the personal God as a dream and prefers the dream of the impersonal being. Then what happens? This is the condition for Mayavadin. Second, the Buddhists are puts aside this to put that aside to as a fiction and prefers the dream of nirvana. Mayavadin, they go after the dream of impersonal being. Buddhist, they go after the dream of nirvana and the bliss of nothingness. So nirvana, nothingness. So again, what happens? Thus all the dreamers are busy revealing each other's vision. These Mayavadins as well as these, Buddhists. Though what they do, they dreamers are busy revealing each other's visions and parading their own as the panacea. What we preach, what we feel, the way we actually move on, that is the panacea, only panacea. The other is strictly rejected by this, or by them. The other is rejected by one. So they keep dispelling each other and keep quarreling each other. So what is the soul utterly rejects in? That's what's clear in the course. What the soul utterly rejects in is for thought the ultimate reality. Nothing with the mind, nothing with the human thought, nothing with the reasoning mind, nothing with the surface mind, nothing on the virtual, nothing is there. But the thing is that in the soul's vision, soul's rejoice. What the soul utterly rejoices in is for the thought of the ultimate reality. So these dreamers of this Mayavadi, dreamers like Mayavadin and dreamers like Buddhist, they talk upon each other. They insist their thought is really based Mayavadin on the impersonal being, and this Buddhist like Nirvana. They talk well, and of course they made propagate for each other and oppose the for their own and oppose the other. But the thing is that with the soul's vision, what soul utterly rejoices in is the thought of ultimate reality. Against here in the quotes, beyond personality of Mayavadin, the beyond personality, because personal and impersonal, they prefer the impersonal image. Beyond personality, the Mayavadin see indefinable existence. I followed him there and found my Krishna beyond the ineffable personality. So Sri Aurobindo quotes again about the Krishna. His Sri Aurobindo quotes nicely. It is 433. Beyond personality, because beyond personality, the Mayavadin who sees indefinable existence, I followed him there and found, I followed him, the Mayavadis, and found my Krishna beyond the indefinable personality. Beyond all, I found my Krishna is standing there. Again, we have seen in the nice story we have seen from Sri Aurobindo. Then what happens if I cared for even for your praise? Now already we have seen that one. If I cared even for your praise, a sense, if I cherished my reputation, O ye prophets, praise, that is for saints, and of course reputation for prophets, my lover would never have taken him into my bosom and given me the freedom of his secret chamber. So it is everything, nothing relates to the human mind, everything must be seen in the vision of the spirit. So here in the quotes is that my lover, beautiful, my lover would never have taken me into his bosom and given me the freedom of his secret chambers, because he has given, because if I cared, if I would have cared and I would have stayed well contented, then these two things means my lover would not have taken me into freedom of his secret chambers. He would not have taken me into his bosoms and given me the freedom of his secret chambers, because he is really beyond all these imaginations, all these metaphysical calculations, and all these dreamers with the particular banner who are struggling and of course quarreling among each other. Against your window quotes here, I was intoxicated with the rapture of my lover. Very interesting. I was intoxicated with the rapture of my lover, and I threw the robe of my world from me, even the world's highways, even in the world's highways. Very interesting. I was intoxicated with the rapture of my lover, and I threw the robe of the world. I threw the robe, not only whatever I am using that, not that one. I threw the robe of my world from me, even in the world's highways. Why should I care that worldlings mock and the of course Pharisees turn to their faces? Why? Because I know he is my lover. For him, everything is there. Because Shwetambar and Digambar, that two big formers, big worlds are there. That two big theories are, of course, existing before us. So I was intoxicated, not toxicated, intoxicated with the rapture of my lover, and I threw the robe of the world for me, even the world's in the world's highways. Why should I care that the worldlings mock and the Pharisees turn their forces? I never care, because I am well contented, well raptured in the bosom of my mother in his embrace. Again, finally, to be very much frank, it is really the great thing, really the great topic we come across here. So naturally, we should be very much careful while describing the Sri Krishna's, Sri Aurobindo's great sayings on Sri Aurobindo. Initially, Sri Aurobindo quotes explains, "Let thy steps walk in thy Lord. Let thy steps walk in thy Lord. Let thy sleep and waking be a sacrifice to Krishna." Again, Sri Aurobindo also we have seen in another occasion we have seen living in Krishna, even it enmity becomes a play of love and the wrestling of the brothers. That's what we must know. We must remember, recall at the each step of our journey while we are passing forward in the upwards in the journey in the path of the yoga. So we must never forget, we must really dream what Sri Aurobindo has quoted, because you know there is absolutely no difference in mother's quotings. Whom shall we pray, to God, to Sri Aurobindo, or to the mother course? There is absolutely no difference between the God Sri Aurobindo and me. Without him I exist not, without him I am unmanifest. So this is the great thing, great aphorism we have seen. Even if he deceived me when I took him as a lover, then also, and at that time also I was much more indignant. That time also, this time I had to pardon, because you know this is divine, and a divine planning, divine thought. We have nothing to care for, and we have nothing to calculate the ups and downs. Vande Mataram.